Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first interview on the Egrow YouTube channel. I'm here today with Nivetha from Newgen Max, and she's a very experienced Amazon FBA seller, and she's really going to drop some knowledge and provide some tips for you guys who are just starting out. So we're really happy to have her on today. Nivetha, thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Rob, for inviting me to the interview.
Absolutely. Yeah. And can you tell the audience just a little bit about your background? I know you're a very experienced seller and you also have some other projects related to FBA going on as well.
Yeah, I started my Amazon selling in 2015. So initially I was not doing FBA. Initially I was doing merchant fulfill. And at one point of time, I figured out that, it is not working good. And then I did FBA. And not only that, right now I'm running an agency called Newgen Max, where we associate with multiple private label brands and help them scale their business on Amazon. So we work on, mostly on PPC ads and help them scale their business.
That's awesome. And when you transitioned from FBM to FBA, did you go directly into private label or did you start out by doing any wholesaling or anything like that?
So initially my mistake was that I did not jump into private label brand because when I started, I did not have enough knowledge of, going with multiple tools like Egrow or anything like that. So I just started just like that, reselling products, but it was one of the biggest mistakes that I did in my career. So then I associated with multiple private label brands because right now I'm working with a lot of private label brands. So that was the time I figured out that, come on, I should not do any sort of reselling and only private label brands will work out on Amazon.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And tell us a little bit about Newgen Max, the agency that you have. I know you have some courses available for new sellers, and also it seems like you guys help people kind of get started and scale their FBA businesses as well.
So I can say myself that we do A to Z service for Amazon, and I'm an Amazon SPN and Amazon ATS, so where we call it as Amazon Trained E-commerce Specialist. So we help sellers to get onboarded from everything, from legal documentation, getting them on board, how to take a photo shoot, and Amazon FBA, Amazon PPC ads. And not only that, I run a special program for sellers where they can learn how to do things, because that is also important for every seller. Even though they have their own team members, I would suggest that every seller should have knowledge about Amazon PPC ads and Amazon FBA.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I kind of had similar experience where I got started and kind of had a team helping me, but I think you make a great point that it's really important to actually understand how to do the work yourself, because, if you have assistants or VAs working with you from the beginning, you might not understand how to do every little detail. So yeah, that's a really great point. Maybe you could share just a few of your top tips for sellers who maybe want to get started or are just brand new to FBA and are wondering, how can they, start their business or take it to the next level?
Very simple. The first point that you have to do is product research. Without any product research, please don't jump into selling. Okay, that is one of the mistakes that I did in the initial days. And one more thing that I would say is that stop loving your products. Because you love a product, don't launch it on Amazon. Because you need a product, don't launch it on Amazon. Just make an analysis that, will people need my product? Will it be in the demand in the upcoming years? I always don't prefer, selling a product for just 1 month and 2 months. Your product should be in the market at least for the next 2 years. So it should have a demand. So that is very important. So product research is the first step that you have to do. Before even figuring out your suppliers, product research is the number one thing that you have to take care of.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, without the right product, you're totally going to get off on the wrong foot and your business is probably going to fail. So I think that's excellent advice. And, from there, so once you find the right product, what's kind of the next step? Obviously that's a big hurdle, but, you started your business, you found a product and you're starting to make sales. What can sellers do next then to grow their business even further?
Okay, so as you said, it's a very big topic. So I'm just saying in brief, the next step is to figure out the suppliers. Mm-hmm. So figuring out supplier is one of the biggest tasks that I would say. And you have to figure out the supplier from your, you can do it from Alibaba, or in case, actually I'm from India. So we generally go to India Mart and do it up. So anything internationally platforms like Alibaba or your own country platforms is perfectly fine. But consider the below factors, like figure out a supplier who's a manufacturer, because there are many people who just post them as manufacturer, but they don't manufacture the product. So in that case, your procurement cost will go higher. And try to negotiate with the supplier. I completely understand in the beginning you can't negotiate much, but it actually involves like projection, how you're going to project yourself. Just say them that how much you're going to do in the next few years. Just give them a projection, and if possible, okay, if your supplier is in your country, you can try to have them a physical visit, validate the products, etc., or else at least get the product your own place and figure out the product, understand if it is of good quality. And one advice that I would give is that there are many persons who send directly from the supplier to FBA warehouse. So initially try to avoid it, because you may not be sure what the supplier is shipping to you. He may send of bad quality products. So it is really important that you get the products to your own place, do a quality check, and then ship it to FBA. And maybe after 4 or 5 times, if you're comfortable, then ask your supplier to directly ship to FBA. So this point, many sellers are missing out because they feel that the work should be very lesser, and they are directly shipping to FBA. And because of this, your quality score will go down. So this is one
Absolutely.
important.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think people, they find the right product and they get so excited and they're ready to ship it to FBA and start selling, but they don't think about testing the quality. And obviously, like you mentioned, if you don't do that, there can be some serious consequences with your penalties against your account and possibly even a suspension as well.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. And so, kind of once you get that product up and running and you found a good supplier and you're selling, you and I were talking a little bit about PPC ads and that being a really great way to kind of accelerate your business. Is that something that you work with people on at your agency? And is that something that you're heavily focused on?
Exactly. So we majorly focus on PPC ads, and I personally believe that ads are really important. And I feel actually organic sales is not that much. So we have to run our ads for brand building and to generate more sales. And even Amazon is coming with a lot of innovative ads. Like we have got this video ads this year, and we already got this retargeting ads. So utilize each and every opportunity. And I really love the product targeting ads. So initially when it came, I thought it will not work good. We had a lot of ACOs initially, but right now we are figuring out the perfect product targeting. We are figuring out the perfect competitors for product targeting ads, and we are able to crack sales through product targeting ads. So PPC ads play a very major role, and of course you should optimize PPC ads. It's not like you have to just create and sit back. Optimization is very, very important part, and you have to definitely do that for FBA products.
Mhm. Absolutely. And is that something that sellers can do right from the beginning, do you think? Or should they establish their business and get several products running before they invest in PPC ads?
So I would suggest to try it out from the beginning. They should have a separate budget for PPC ads. The main reason is that on Amazon, reviews play a very major role for sales. So how do you get reviews? Only if you have sales, you can get reviews. How do you get sales in such a big marketplace? So you should know people. You should say people that, come on, this is my product. So for that, you need PPC ads.
Mm-hmm.
So once you run ads, only people will come to know about products, and they will buy and they will leave out a review. So of course, pricing plays a major factor here. So pricing combined with proper product detail page plus PPC ads and plus FBA will do really great wonders.
Mhm. That's excellent. Yeah. And are there any, common mistakes that you see from new FBA sellers, when they're first starting out? Maybe they come to you for help and they're doing something and you look at their business and say, oh, this, if you do this differently, it'll make a huge difference in your sales.
Okay, one common mistake that people generally do is that they send bulk quantities at the initial stage itself to FBA. I'm against all these YouTube gurus who says that send more products to FBA. I would say the real-time scenario, consider that you're sending 250 to 300 products to FBA for a single product. And if you're not able to crack sales for that, and you will be wasting lots of storage fees for it, and you have to remove the product. So I would say initially when you're testing out, okay, so I understand that you would have done a product research and you would have figured out the proper supplier, pricing is good, but there are chances that product may not work. There may be a lot of reasons for that due to the, the nation is going in a different way. We did not expect COVID-19 at all. So it was a very drastic drift, right? So we cannot predict each and every month. So don't spend or don't send more products to FBA for a single SKU or for a single ASIN. So make sure that you're sending less, and if things are working good, then send more products. So this would actually cut down your initial investment also. And even you can test a lot by running PPC ads, and then you can scale your product. That is one important thing that many sellers are missing out.
I think that's great advice. Yeah, do the research and diversify at the beginning. Try a bunch of different products, and then once you find those winners, then you can really, invest more into those products and send 200, 500 or more items to storage. I think that's really, really good advice. Another question that's come up a lot lately from some of our members is account suspensions. And I was actually watching your YouTube video and I saw you had a pretty popular video on that topic from a couple years ago. And I just I'm curious to get your insight on that. First of all, just, strategies or tips to avoid suspensions. And then if you do get a suspension, what's kind of the best way to approach Amazon and deal with that?
Okay. So I'm working on account suspension from the year 2017. And right now I have crossed, 700 plus accounts. And I want to share one sad reality of Amazon, that Amazon may suspend your account anytime, even you have all valid documents. This is the sad reality. And another reality is that it is not necessary that 100% all accounts should be activated. So this thing people should keep in mind. And the steps to prevent it are that initially when they're figuring out the product, okay, everyone won't go for a trademark because it would involve some cost and it will involve some trading. So, but whenever you are getting a UPC code and applying for a brand name or getting a GTN exemption, make sure that the brand name is not in your country at least. So go to your trademark website of your country and do an analysis. So for example, Philips is a very big brand. So I can't name a brand with similar to Philips. Philips man cannot be a brand to sell tube lights. So make sure that you're going to the existing trademark website, put down your trademark or the brand name that you're planning to sell and check out that there are no competitors available. And one more thing is that once you've scaled your business, make sure that you're getting a trademark, because Amazon will come and say you that you have violated your intellectual property violations, you don't have copyrights, or you are selling counterfeit products. For everything, trademark is the best answer that you can give. And whenever you're procuring, make sure that you're procuring with a valid supplier invoice. So many people miss out that they just buy without invoice for many reasons, maybe for taxation, etc. So don't do that mistake on Amazon. And another one major thing is that whenever you're selling a product, sell 100% quality products. Don't compromise on quality. See, even it may be at the outer carton cover or outer packing of the product, make sure that it is pakka. That is, you should not have any problem in the outer packing also. Else you may get a complaint like you have sold the old product. So everything is risk on Amazon, but Amazon is safe in the hands of trademark owners. And if you're selling quality products and if you're having good packing system, I mean, while you're sending to FBA itself, make sure that you are sending with proper packing. And address your customer queries, if any. Mostly you won't get customer queries for FBA orders, but in case you're getting some customer queries, okay, over phone or over email, something like that, make sure that you're addressing it on time, and this will prevent Amazon account suspension. And once your account gets suspended, first sit down and relax yourself, because there are people who get very emotional and they send mail to Jeff, or they send mail saying that, hey, come on, I did so much of thing on FBA, activate my account. These things will not work. Become emotionally stable, analyze your account, what mistakes you did, and write a plan of action. So where you will say why this issue happened, what steps have you taken, and the preventive measures. And I would say patience is the key for Amazon account activation. So don't get emotionally activated and don't write any emotional words on plan of action. No one is here emotionally connected. So So make sure you're writing a proper plan of action and send it to the performance team as per the email that you have received. And this would help you to, activate the Amazon account. And don't panic. Only that advice I would give to Amazon sellers.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think what you said there about that plan of action is really good. It's important from my experience, at least, to have every detail included in that plan of action, because if you're missing one little thing, or if it's not laid out the correct way, Amazon will easily just deny you and you'll have to write another plan of action. So
Exactly.
yeah, which can cause a big headache. So yeah, we don't want to have to deal with that if at all possible. And two, like you said, I mean, it can be common for suspensions to happen, but it seems like that if you have good customer service and if you have all of your paperwork in order and you're not violating any trademarks or selling things of bad quality or selling products that are illegal, you'll have much less problem when it comes to Amazon.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for all of that great advice. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap up the interview?
So one small advice that I would give is that whenever you launch a product, make sure you do some analysis. And when you're trying some products for 6 months, okay, after PPC ads and after sending to FBA, and if things are not working good, better stop the product. Okay, don't waste you more money on PPC ads and waste it. Just you can give it as a giveaway or remove it, and you can sell it up. There are few people who are stuck with one product for years, okay, and they waste their money. So please don't do that. So don't get emotionally connected with your products. Leave the product, figure out the next product, and follow the trend. Don't follow a product that you analyzed 2 years before. Things are changing, people mind are changing. So just go with the trend. So that's the one advice that I would give to all FBA sellers.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can't get too emotionally attached to a product, right? It's you have to think of it as a sunk cost, right? It happened in the past. And if it's not working out, then you need to transition to what's next.
Exactly.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, hey, Nivetha, thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate your time and you sharing all of this valuable insight. And for the audience, make sure you check for the links in the description below. We'll have a link to Nivetha's YouTube channel as well as to the Newgen Max agency website, where you can check out some of the courses as well as some of the other offerings that they have to help you get started and have a very successful FBA business. Nivetha, thank you again so much for coming on today.
Thanks, Rob, for inviting me.
My pleasure.